2013, the eyes of the two men locked as the bullets played chess on the chest of the young boy's anatomy. And the look that came over his mother's eyes is how the eyes of the whole hood be, lifeless. And the shooter learned to always look a man in his eyes from his father, who was an OG. And this is where the pain begins and the cycle is continued, from a boy whose eyes have met death since the age of 2, when his older brother made the wrong decision, when he thought that being a man meant carrying a gun in his hand, but he was too slow to draw and his feet couldn't move fast enough, and he didn't realize that he wouldn't have the time to live and love long enough until he took his last breath. And his mother was left to raise her last-born seed, whom most chastise and say he's a demon seed, because they don't understand that the feelings of pain have been birthed in his genes. And now at the age of 14, he walks around wearing $300 True Religion jeans, and his mother weeps at night because, dear Lord, he don't even know what true religion means. See, leaving the hood was never an option, because working a 9-to-5 doesn't give him Louis, Dolce, and Gabbana options. So now he's fighting to make hood history. And there's no textbook for this legacy left behind, just the frail, easily torn, thin piece of paper that displays your date of birth, wake, date, and time. Since 2013, he said that he's been praying for redemption, but it never came. And though the days within the week slowly seem to change, the one thing that remains the same is this pain. And the news headline, which reads, "Mother mourns the life of the slain." And he wonders if his life could have been different had his circumstances been changed. Had the OGs in his neighborhood taught him and his childhood friends to be young kings, but instead he witnessed the OGs selling dope to young fiends. And he doesn't really think this is what Martin meant when he said, "I have a dream, not bullets ripping through seams." Got me? Since 2013, he said that he's been praying for redemption, but it never came. And though the days within the week seem to slowly change, the one thing that remains the same are these chains. And though they're invisible, the hood teaches that if you remain bound by them, somehow you remain loyal and true to the game. But don't that make you insane? Doing the same thing over and over again, taking the lives of so many promising young men with nothing to gain, going to jail with these chains, having to fight through crick and blood gains, only to be released and still be a prisoner inside your own brain. And he wonders if his life could have been different had his circumstances been changed. Had the OGs in his neighborhood taught him and his childhood friends to be young kings, but instead all he heard was, "How could I teach you when nobody taught me? When my father was just a POME, product of his environment. No one to look up back then. No one to teach the young boys to grow to be men." But he realized that he had to start praying a different prayer if he wanted redemption. So now when the young boys say, "I want to be like you, OG," he said, "Don't be. Be a young king."